was I out? Has Sonic gone 3D yet? Ah!
As I said before, Nights into Dreams, learning curve aside, is a fun game. It's quite impressive what Sonic Team managed to do here, because there are several things I left out in the last video. For example, the music will be a bit different when you repeat a stage depending on how you treated the Nightopians. Not only is the game fun to play, but it's also fun to peel back the layers on. Sonic Team knew that too, because being a company that strikes while the iron is hot, sometimes, they got to work immediately on the next installment. Christmas Nights. Jingle chips, jingle away from me. Why can't I collect them so that I can just go free? To keep things brief, this was a sampler disc released in the Christmas season of 1996. It's just the first stage and boss with Santa's lunch puked all over it, but it does have some nifty features depending on the Saturn's clock time. For example, Reala is playable on April Fool's Day. You can unlock several things in this disc, like concept art, a karaoke version of Dreams Dreams. I don't like the song, I'm not singing it. And even... oh yeah! This is happening! Aside from Sonic the Fighters, this was actually his first appearance in 3D. With just 3 games on the Saturn and only one of them new, he needed something to do. For a simple sampler disc, this was actually quite ambitious, and it tided fans over for the next installment, Hiatus Time! I did say Sonic Team likes to strike while the iron's hot sometimes. After the Saturn's death, Nights became relegated to Sonic cameos and little more. I find it weird that a Dream character didn't have a game on the Dreamcast, but Air Nights never saw the light of day, so... Nights was left on the back burner for most of the 2000s, but after Shadow the Hedgehog came out, development started on a new game. A game that would address all the problems of the first game, and take advantage of a new motion controller. What perfect timing for that. We even had some redesigns. Aside from the new neck ruffle, Nights really seemed to evolve compared to the Saturn days. Reala, on the other hand, peed in a Hot Topic. This was gonna be it, a long-awaited return to the spotlight, and on a system people actually owned. Nothing could stop the new game from... While I haven't found any concrete sales numbers, I think it's safe to say that it fell into the bargain bin quickly. I found my copy at a Canadian video store for under $8, and it's not much more expensive on Amazon. How can this be? I mean, this game, How do I describe this game? Like so. Everything in Super Nights Galaxy 2 is retreading the first. 2 kids having anxiety problems relating to a sport and music, and having a nightmare sequence in their intro. Man, such original levels. Even Lost Park takes a set piece from its Saturn opposite, Frozen Belle. But I digress. Let's play. I'm still going. Man, what is it with Sega and having fantastic pre-rendered cutscenes? There's this, Sonic Unleashed, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Oh crap, is that multiplayer? I got no face! Nights, Ultra Sun, and Ultra Moon takes after the Sonic Adventure games in how you have 2 stories, and you get the real ending by playing through both of them. I'm gonna go with Helen first. I sure hope that doesn't bite me in the butt because our level design and boss fights are worse than Will's. Rated E for eerie. This time we get an actual hub world. A really drab looking hub world, but it's a hub world. Dreamgate aside, the game looks pretty good for the early Wii. I just wish the animations were more consistent. I don't have any qualms with Nights, she's done well. But other characters like Owl either barely move or are too puppet-like the kids. It honestly reminds me of Eggman from Adventure 2. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but you get the point.
Why is my body doing this thing?
The game also has voice acting too, so now you can learn why I call Nights a female.
My name is Nights. Let me tell you, you'll have a much better time flying around with me than chatting with this old owl.
The line delivery is serviceable, but the lines themselves...
Grab your favorite cheesy snack, because there's a lot of it here.
It would probably be much easier to understand if you just tried it. Go over and touch Knights. You'll see what I mean. But that is, of course, if you're interested in that sort of...
The tutorial is pretty great. It tells you all the controller options, everything you'd need to know about playing, and it updates itself with every Persona mask you get.
You never...
Now, the original Saturn game was shorter than Roy's Sweet Spot, but this game fixes that through its mission structure. Every stage has 5 missions. The first one is always the chase mission, and it resembles the first game the most. Only instead of gathering blue chips to destroy idiot capsules, you're chasing down birds to get keys for your cell. Rinse and repeat 2 more times, and then a boss fight occurs. Then you have a rematch against that boss fight for the 5th mission. In between those 2 are a link building challenge and 2 more missions that pertain to the world you're in. Oh, so that's how prisoners do it. Unlike its Saturn counterpart, NiGHTS doesn't turn into a mermaid upon entering water here, which means no copyright law in the universe is gonna stop me. The first boss is Garania, another massive fish with the complexity of the tube sock. Just hit him and he'll turn into... Wow, this paraloop sucks balls. Speaking of balls, the second mission has you pushing small water bubbles into a big one to make it as big as possible.
How do we make this game long enough so people will believe they're getting their money's worth? I know! This truly is the best approach. Wait, what did the points mean again?
The chase and link missions have the right idea, splitting the 2 fundamentals of the first game into their own levels to make the game just a little bit longer. This, however, is just flying around in a closed area for a ball measuring contest between you and Owl. The game says that bigger bubbles are harder to control, but that's a lie. All sizes control each other. But at least the bigger bubbles have a bigger hitbox. This isn't fun, and it's not NiGHTS. What's a tentacle doing in my NiGHTS game? Octopaw leaves behind rings and chips, and you use them to make as big of a link score as possible. Hey, this music's pretty catchy. I wonder what it's called. I'm sorry, what? Since we're somehow not dead, we have to make it up this trench without NiGHTS. Are you serious? I thought I was playing NiGHTS, not Balan Blunderworld. Now I know why some people are against the multiple gameplay styles of the adventure games. Well, I guess I gotta talk about the kids now. They are incredibly bare bones. They can run, jump, and throw blue chips at enemies. That's about it. In all fairness, they do control better than Elliot and Claris in the first game, but that's not really saying much. This trench level is actually pretty inoffensive too. It's short, to the point, and I learned there's no fall damage, so that's nice. Hopefully this is the worst it gets. Right? Right? Wow, this paraloop really sucks balls.
I'd think that everything in a world made of glass would be very fragile.
Didn't I tell you? Nightopia is a world that mirrors the heart of a visitor. That means it was your heart that created this place. Helen?
My heart is fragile?
This is Crystal Castle, and apparently this level hates my guts. I can't tell you how many times I got hit by the NiGHTS clones or the crystals that pop up out of nowhere. This would have been the part where I played a mini mushroom sound effect, but no, apparently I can't find it at all. This is Bomamba. She isn't very fun too. Well, following that monstrosity, you gotta tilt the stage around in order to send all the cats into the holes. This fight is pure tedium incarnate. I should be trying to attack this witch directly, not playing pit or platter. The stage explodes when the glass cat gets dropped. How? Beats me, but at least it's over. Let's look at the Knight's Rush Adventure trailer. Nice! Now let's play the actual game. 11 years and this is how they thought to expand game time. Seriously? The only clues for where to go are the blue chips lined up in certain directions. There are a couple of times where you need to kill the enemies in order to proceed, and trust me, you'll wish you had a better camera faster than I lost my patience after dying here. One admittedly less frustrating retry later. I'm done. I better not see one of these walking missions again. At least the Link challenge is still fun and the jewel collecting is better than the ball measuring from the first world. Mainly because it's in 2D. Ugh. This fight again. Between fights like this and my legs being public enemies to all that purr, I am not a cat person. I was gonna show a clip of me holding a kitten as a joke, but I can't for legal reasons, so have a instead.
Have you, or have you not, seen knights wear a mask like mine? This mask here is called a persona.
Now the moment's passed.
Here we have Memory Forest, and the first act will make you a little paranoid. Why? The bird is so far away, my fair jester. Man, my flying sucks so much that I can't sing properly. Despite my ineptitude in that section, the bird wasn't really that far away when I finally went down. Oh yeah, something switches can turn blocks into other things. You know, if a purple British jester was flying towards me while I was on a merry-go-round, I would jump off immediately. The boss of this stage is Queen Bella, and her theme is from Sonic Unleashed. Nah, I'm just kidding, but seriously, listen. I can't be the only one who gets a similar vibe from both of them. What's that? What do I think of the boss itself? You can wait on that. I wonder what the next mission is.
Bitch, get 'em out.
This stage doesn't feel right. Every time I went the right way, I thought it was by accident, and that's because the stage is actually a lot more linear than the game wants you to think it is. I think the end of the stage proves my point. You see all these platforms and you think to yourself, ah, so this is the way to go, and if I jump in the water, I'll have to start over. But no. Turns out the water's actually the quicker way. As confusing as this stage can be, I find it far more tolerable than the Hall of Mirrors. You can't fathom that. Wonders you can't have. For this mission, we have to fly to the beat of Dreams Dreams. I like the concept, but it is surprisingly hard to do. I actually attempted this mission twice because I got a D rank at first, and I didn't learn until after beating the game that your rank doesn't actually matter in this game, unlike the first. Aw, man, we have to go there, don't we? So, about why I didn't explain the boss earlier. Aiming the silk balls is a freaking crapshoot, and she'll keep walking around until she runs out of ground to stand on. It takes so long to try and get her to swim that I took multiple attempts. And the worst part is, when I was replaying the missions to get all my notes down, I dropped her in only a minute for both the first and second fights. Of course it wasn't on camera. What did I do to deserve this run? I think that sums it up quite nicely. Okay, Will's turn. He better not have any worse bosses. I'm sorry, did the car turn into an airplane? Man, imagine if there was a racing game like that. Oh, the tutorial again. And it's talking about the mine site. Yeah, because people definitely use the mine site. Pure Valley is Will's first stage, and maybe it's because it reminds me of Spring Valley, but I find it even better of a starting level than Aqua Garden in Helen's story. Something about this zipline is making me very uncomfortable. Man, what a terrifying, monstrous tower. I mean, how do you even begin to approach something like this? This is definitely going to be a different boss fight than... What do you see in this face? Mischief? Glee? Horrific pain and torment? Donbalon is just Puffy from the first game, but not a drag queen, with a vertical level instead of a horizontal one, and a lot more obstacles. It can be a bit frustrating at times, but I still find it a natural evolution of the original Saturn fight. The music's fun too. While I don't find the soundtrack quite as funky as the Saturn original, it's still definitely got its good tracks, but it's a Sega game, so that's to be expected. Tentacool still shows up, and it's even easier to keep a Link here than it is in any of Helen's levels. Does that dark cloud look familiar to anyone? This mission simply has us looping around those weird Chow in order to get them to safety. I'm kinda surprised they don't go to my world since regular Nightopians do that. Oh yeah, my world. It builds up the more Nightopians you send here, and you can show it off to other people through Nintendo WFC. Wait a minute, isn't that thing dead? Like with messing with the Nightopians in general, I don't really bother with this thing. I'm content just playing the actual game. I'm on a boat! I'm on a boat! The point of this mission is to go down the river slowly, picking up Nightopians along the way.
I ask you, fellow Mega Man fans, do you know why no one likes Ride Borsky?
Don't ride at high speeds to the goal, just pick stuff up along the track slowly. Although at least in Journey of Dreams, they give you a lot of leeway as to how many Nightopians you need to save. The music reminds me of a Mario sports game, strangely enough. I hope you like Donbalon's laughing.
Hey, are you in need of a fun, lonely place to hang? Well, do I have the Lost Park for you? We've got tons of attractions, like the train with rocks in the way. Buy a ticket now, and we'll throw in signs that change the local weather forecast for our no money back guarantee. Only at Lost Park. Find it inside your local Minecraft YouTuber. Seriously, please do it. There's no one here.
Theatrics aside, this is my favorite level in the game. Not only is it fun to play, but it's also very unique for a desert level. Camelon here is a bit of a tricky boss though. Being a chameleon, he not only spends the whole fight invisible, but also hides behind a massive shroud, using cards to attack you. You have to puncture the shroud with your paraloops, and expose Camelon with one too, after which he just goes down in one hit. It might be frustrating to new players, but if you keep track of the cards in the background, then you should be fine. He always hides around the ace. Oh wow, we're actually using our persona masks. For this mission, we have to swim through all the rings! You almost had it, Marlin. We're swimming through bomb chains so that they don't explode. It's actually really easy. All you gotta do is just swim right. Oh, there are rings. Apparently Octopod didn't want me to stop chasing him because I scored big for the Link challenge in this world. I wonder what the next mission what in the HE double 50% off. Now that I can never see roller coasters the same way ever again. This mission's pretty easy. All you gotta do is just aim at the rings when Knights is close to them, and that's about it. You'll finish pretty quickly.
Bombs? You want it? It's yours, my friend.
Time for Delight City, or as I like to call it, Casino Park. It's literally just na 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 na. I mean, you've got your slot machines rolling down a thin slide as a ball, and wow, it's not a pinball table. A billiard table is close enough. Aside from the big city part, this level's pretty fun, and so is the boss. Cerberus is a pair of dog heads connected together by a chain, and you need to push the chain outward in order for the dogs to hit each other. It's actually a pretty good use of the 3D environment. Hear that, Aqua Garden? Hey, remember that Hall of Mirrors level where it was very easy to get lost? Well, this is worse! Where am I going? For this mission, you have to kill all 20 enemies, but the problem is, they railroad you down in an area where it's easy to get lost. The switches to proceed only show up after you killed enough enemies in the area, but I didn't know that until after a couple of retries. I had an easier time figuring out the switches in the chase mission. Speaking of switches, Will's next mission after the Link challenge has him going through an area full of them in order to get Helen to the door. Hey, can I stand on this? Apparently not. Despite me taking a while on my first run through this level, it's actually not that bad. It's impossible to get lost and the level design's not very confusing. If only real-life slot machines were this generous. Cerberus grows a third head that protects the chain, so how do you reach it without getting hit?
Rocket!
It's a shame that the game doesn't really use the persona masks much, because they actually have some pretty nifty effects. The dolphin makes you swim, the rocket makes you fast, and the dragon makes you resistant to wind. It's used a grand total of once in the whole game. Okay, final level time. You have to play this 3 times in order to get the actual ending, but still, it's the final level.
Dad, I understand now. I've been so concerned with looking up to you that I didn't look at myself. Well, from now on, I will. I know that I can do this on my own. My dreams, friends that I can trust. Now they're relying on me, and I have to help them.
Never mind, I need to talk about the game's writing. Though you wouldn't think it could, Nights into Dreams portrays anxiety in a brilliant manner, both from the perspective of someone familiar with it and someone new to it, all without any dialogue, putting show don't tell into great effect. This is even reflected in gameplay. Nights lets the kids fly around because she absorbs some of their dream energy, but for the final stage, they can fly on their own, proving that they don't need Nights. I'll link a video below that goes into further detail. Now, if we're talking about this game, well, the gameplay aspect hasn't been changed, but they decided to add dialogue. And that dialogue...
No kid understood the themes of anxiety and overcoming it back in 1996. Let's force it into their faces, they'll understand then!
And so we got brilliant dialogue like...
Owl said that the reason this world is so lonely is because of my heart. If that's true, then I need to become stronger. That way, everyone in Nightopia will be stronger too.
That's right.
Someone who I thought was my friend. Well, I guess we weren't such good friends after all. So I... You need to believe in your friends, Helen. You said you were good friends, right? Then you've got to believe in them. If you trust in your friend, then that trust is sure to get through. Maybe this is why you and I ran into each other again. Well, thank you. I'll try to keep that trust, because we are friends.
Yeah. Shut up, Wiseman. We're not your puppets. No matter what you think, we can do things on our own. We won't be held back by anyone, because we have free will.
No! Knights, please don't! If you do that, I'll never see you again. Please, you can't!
Helen, it's okay. We need to protect your dreams.
Knights...
It'll be all right. No matter what happens. We'll be friends forever.
And even in the moments that aren't just concentrated cheese with no actual charm, stuff like the camera distracts me from actually enjoying them. But anyway, the last stage, and for real this time, it's Bellbridge. Not gonna lie, I get goosebumps every time I hear those first few notes of Growing Wings. It may just be a simple remix, but it's still one of my favorite tracks in the entire game. Why am I bringing this up? Because they change it midway and I'm not happy about it. I like vocal tracks. I'm a Sonic fan after all. But when you throw away my perfectly good Growing Wings remix for another version of Dreams, yeah, I'm not gonna be happy. Anyway, Bellbridge is this game's twin seeds. It only has a chase mission, and the level design is only slightly different depending on the character. It's one of my favorite levels in the game, both for the climactic feeling it brings and the fact that it doesn't have any missions that completely ignore what Nights is all about. You rescue Nights through the real superpower of teamwork, just like in the first game, and... oh yeah, Reala's in this game, isn't he? Despite being present in half the game's cutscenes, he has all the presence of modern-day Metal Sonic. Reala does little more than float around with his bird squad and put Nights in a cage once in a while. The only time I actually felt anything with him on screen was when he was screwing with Helen's trust in Nights. That part's just funny.
What?
You fight him once in Will's story and again here, and I mean, that's fine. The Saturn fight had potential, a clash between equals marred by how easy it was to loop around him. Now, on a more powerful, more advanced system, we can see them loop around each other again, destroying the scenery whenever one is hit.
Dodgeball! Boom, 1 point. Boom, 2 points. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, now we're just tossing balls at each other. The second fight doesn't even have a resolution, he just pieces out. Well, here's the giant talking Terrat again, and... yeah, he's the best fight in the game. It actually takes advantage of all the masks. You need to use the Dolphin to get past the water tornadoes, which have a bigger dodge hitbox than the Saturn version, but they also move up and down in the rematch. You use the Dragon to get past his Windstorm, which for some reason is immune to the fireballs. And when Wise Man summons clones... rocket! A pity he only goes down in 3 hits though. The dream world is saved, Will scores a goal, Helen plays with her mom, and the two actually meet outside of Nightopia. From Will's perspective, it's actually pretty cute. From Helen's, on the other hand, it's just terrifying. Is Journey of Dreams a bad game? No, not really. But is it a good game? No, not really. It certainly addresses the problems the first game had, but it doesn't do so in the right ways. It lengthens the game through filler missions that miss the point of Nights. There's more effort at telling a story on the surface level, but it doesn't do so with the grace of the underlying themes in the first game. It certainly uses a motion control scheme, but the game controls worse than the first. With how cheap the game goes for, however, I think it's at least worth trying out if you like the first game. You're not getting much from the franchise, so you might as well use what you have. Sadly, the lukewarm critical and financial reception were what threw Nights in the can. Aside from a very basic remaster for Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, and Steam, Nights went back into the cameo bin, and remains there to this day. It's not all bad though. I'm sure there's a spiritual successor that gave fans exactly what they wanted after years of... Never mind, Nights has no legacy. Still, hope is in the air. Though fleeting, Sega has given attention to less popular franchises in recent years. Look at Monkey Ball. We've gotten 2 remasters in 2 years, and the second one did pretty well. Yakuza's going strong, perhaps even stronger than Sonic. And then there's Alex Kidd. Alex Kidd of all games came back for a bit. So stay positive, Nights fans. One day, our beloved British jester will soar through the skies once again. Hopefully with less clown balls.